Welcome to Veggies and Herbs. My name is Ruben Malale. In today's video, we will take a deep dive into the world of Bokashi composting. So if you are looking for an efficient, odorless way of converting your kitchen scraps into a nutrient-rich compost, then Bokashi composting might just be what you've been looking for. So let's take a dive into the ins and outs of Bokashi composting. So let's first establish what is Bokashi composting all about. Now, Bokashi is a Japanese term meaning fermented organic matter. It's a practical, clean method of converting your kitchen scraps into a nutrient-rich compost. Now, unlike traditional composting, Bokashi composting relies on a fermentation process that takes place in an airtight container. So in order to start the Bokashi process, you will need a bin. I managed to get these from Earth Probiotics, but I have also seen on YouTube that some gardeners make their own Bokashi bins. You also need the brand. This has been inoculated with microorganisms. These organisms has been proven to be very effective in the decompositioning process. You also need something to press your waste down, and I'm using a potato masher just to assist me to actually press down my kitchen waste. And then you need finally kitchen waste that you will be collecting on a regular basis from your kitchen. So let's go over how you go about actually using your Bokashi bin. So I use this container to collect all my kitchen waste on a daily basis. I will then place this container in the fridge to avoid bacterial mold to grow on the kitchen waste. Now, the beauty with Bokashi composting is that all types of kitchen waste like meat, fruits, leftovers can be used during this process. So once this container is full, I will then transfer the kitchen waste into my Bokashi bin. I will then cover the waste with a handful of the Bokashi mix. I use this foot measure to press down the waste. This helps to remove all the air. I also use a newspaper and on the top layer and to push down just to ensure that I remove all the air within the waste. After that, I will then secure the lid tightly. So remember, this is a fermentation process. So in order for the fermentation process to work efficiently, it's important to create an oxygen-free environment. During the fermentation process, liquid will be accumulating at the bottom of the bin. This liquid is also known as Bokashi tea. So you can then drain off this liquid by using the sparagot, and this can be an ideal fertilizer. It's important to know that since the liquid is very acidic, that you need to dilute your Bokashi tea with water before you can apply it in your garden. It is recommended that you dilute the Bokashi tea at a rate of 1 to 100. This means you can place 20 milliliters of Bokashi tea into a liter of water. Then apply this concoction into your garden as a fertilizer. So I will repeat layering the kitchen waste until my Bokashi bin is full, and secure the lid tightly to leave the bin to ferment for approximately 10 to 14 days at the room temperature. It's important to mention that you need to put these bins indoors and not directly in the sun. So this is an ideal system that can be very useful for urban gardeners, because this bin you can then store it indoors. Now at the end of the process, your compost will smell similar to cider vinegar or pickles. This is not a bad thing, and if you are fermenting your Bokashi for more than 14 days, you might find a white fungi on top of your Bokashi bin. This is also not something to be concerned about, because this is a very good fungi. Now it's important to know that your waste will not be broken down at the end of the fermentation process like in traditional compost. So after your Bokashi has been fermenting for 14 days, there are quite a number of ways that you can then use your Bokashi pre-Bokashi compost. One of the methods is to transfer the Bokashi mix into your garden. You can just dig a hole and then add this Bokashi into your garden. You can then first mix some of the soil with the Bokashi and then cover the Bokashi mixture with the remaining of your garden soil. After you have covered the Bokashi with soil, you can place a plastic. I use a landscape fabric just to cover the area to ensure that I maintain that oxygen-free environment. This will also allow the Bokashi to decompose much further. I must mention that after you have transferred your Bokashi into the soil, that you cannot plant any plants in that area immediately because the Bokashi will be very acidic and that can actually affect the roots of your plants. So it's important to wait for 2 weeks before you can plant any plants or seed in the area where you have buried the Bokashi. Another way also that you can actually use your Bokashi mix is by making a soil factory. I'm looking forward to share more on how to use Bokashi as a soil factory, but these are some of the ways that you can actually use your fermented Bokashi. But I hope you found value out of this video. If you want to see other organic ways to improve your soil, click on the screen, and I'm looking forward to see you in future videos. Keep on sowing and growing. Cheers.